Top 3 reasons today you, as a first-time home buyer, should take action in this market. Number 1, lower prices. Pretty self-explanatory. You want to buy a house at a lower price than a higher price. The reason home prices are lower today is a little bit lower buyer demand. Jack, why are home prices lower today than they were last year?
A little bit lower today than last year because the interest rate is a little bit higher today than we were a year ago. So because of the higher interest rates, we're seeing more affordability issues, which is pushing some people on the sidelines.
Totally agree. So we are forecasting next year lower interest rates.
Yes.
So if we have lower rates next year, we should see an increase in buyer demand next year.
Yes.
With an increase in buyer demand, what do we think is going to happen to home prices?
I think that home prices are going to begin to appreciate a little bit more. And with the more competition, that means that the terms aren't going to be as favorable to the people looking to buy.
Right. So this could be that window of time, right, where you can still buy a house today with less buyer demand.
Yes. Number 2, seller credit. One of the main parts of the loan process are closing costs, and a seller credit can be used to help compensate or pay for all of the closing costs. But on top of that, we just discussed how rates have gone up quite significantly since last year. So you not only can use a seller credit to pay for closing costs, but also to lower your interest rate as well. And the main difference between this market today and last year's market is that in last year's market, not only were sellers not willing to give seller credits, but typically the buyer was actually having to pay additional closing costs on top of the regular costs because they didn't have any power in the negotiation process.
So I get this question a lot from buyers buying right now is why would a seller pay for closing costs? And the reason that a seller would pay for closing costs is, again, if you're the only buyer or you're not negotiating against other buyers, you as a buyer have more leverage and therefore more opportunity to get a deal structured that better fits your financial situation. So if you can walk in to a home purchase with only paying for your down payment and a seller's going to pay all those closing costs, you're going to walk out way ahead than you would in a normal situation where you have to come up with all of your down payment and all your closing costs. Number 3, a no rush buyer experience. So I think this is often overlooked. So in our previous market of 2020 and 2021, buyers really felt a sense that they had to make an offer on a home literally sight unseen or within minutes or hours after viewing a property. And the reason for this is with such limited amount of inventory and such high amount of buyer demand, there was literally no opportunity for a buyer to actually envision themselves in the home. The other thing is that in order to get your offer accepted with the multiple offers that a seller would receive, buyers in often cases would have to waive all of their contingencies, all of their inspections, anything. So they're literally buying a house that they really don't have enough information on. We've even seen in some circumstances, buyers buying homes in last year or in 2020 that now have a bit of remorse from those purchases.
Yes. So waiving the inspection specifically can create some problems and has created problems because people were not even getting or doing their due diligence and inspecting the property. So after they close, they got that dream home, and then they do that inspection report. They find out there's much, much more damage to the home than what they had originally assumed, which has created a little bit of a burden for them moving forward because that's damage that needs to be addressed.
And we all know that we're going to spend the majority of our life in our home.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that this is something that we really feel great about. So as a buyer, I think it's really smart to have the opportunity to take your time, see how you feel, look at a few homes before deciding on one. And right now, buyers have that opportunity. But as we discussed, as buyer demand increases, while affordability, increases, we should expect, right, that the pickup will happen again, where buyers will feel a little bit more urgency to get in homes quicker.
Mhm.
And when that happens, that opportunity to really take a slow, more calculated evaluation process is going to go away.
I know this can seem like a little bit of an overwhelming process, but with the right team like us, we will put you in the position to win in this market.